Hi everyone, my name is Max from Natural Bodybuilding and Nutrition Q&A, and today I have something different for you guys. I know that lately I haven't been posting any YouTube videos. I've been on another project, and I wanted to come back and give you something different. So today I have an article that I'm reading about taking too much BCAAs. Um, I wanted to start by saying that I always try to back up whatever I say with my personal experience. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, but I do talk with experience. I've been doing bodybuilding for the last 10 years, and I always try to look it up. And if I don't know something, I will try to go look it up and find an answer. Today I was reading about taking too much BCAAs. The other day I was talking to a friend at the gym, and he told me that is there such thing as taking too much BCAAs, and or how to take them? Is there any difference if you take them before your workout, after your workout, during your workout? And in my personal experience, there's a difference. First of all, taking too much of anything exists, and it hurts, and it's always bad. Even with the most stupid thing, taking too much Tylenol can kill you. Taking too much water can mess with your electrolytes and give you from a simple muscle spasm to cardiac arrest. So yeah, you can have pretty bad troubles if you eat too much fat. Your whole cardiovascular system is going to suffer, your heart is going to suffer, your liver is going to suffer. If you eat too much meat, or you have too much protein in your diet, your kidneys are going to suffer, your heart is going to suffer, your liver is going to suffer. And if you have too much carbs, your system is still going to suffer, because you're saturating, you're overloading your body with different things. And if in case of carbs, your body is not going to process the glucose as much as it should. It's not going to produce as much insulin as it should. So you're going to end up with maybe diabetes. So with that said, I wanted to approach this article and give you my own opinion on this. And well, let's just get to it. So it says 5 potential side effects of taking too much BCAAs. Are there any BCAA side effects? So the short answer is yes. Of course, BCAAs are good for you. If you have something, you take it, and it's beneficial. It's just like vitamins. But taking too much of it, it's going to give you a little bit of trouble. So the short answer is it good? Yes. Is it too much good? Not so much. So it says that, this is an intro. It tells you what BCAAs are. BCAAs stand for branched chain amino acids, which is basically 3 amino acids, which are leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Those 3 amino acids are pretty much what broken down protein cells from your muscles are made of. So when your muscles start breaking down, they're going to break down into those 3 things, among other things, of course. So when your body needs energy, we all been through this, and it's never repeating too much, but we all know that the order in which your body is going to consume your resources is, it's going first for the glucose, then it's gonna go for fats, and it's gonna go then in the last place for the protein cells, and it's gonna breaking down into BCAAs. Now, of course, they overlap. They're not, your body's not always gonna go for the glucose and just the glucose. It's going to consume glucose and a little bit of fat, and it's also going to consume a little bit of protein. When you're running out of one of the things, it's gonna go to the next one. So if you're running out of glucose, it's gonna go for the fats. If you're running out of fats, it's gonna go for the protein, so your muscles. and that's what bodybuilders don't want. So, being that said, there's one thing that you have to consider too, and it's that your body is going to consume what you have most. So, if your diet is high in, let's say, protein and fats, just like the keto diet, your body is going to adjust to that. It's going to produce ketones, and it's going to use the fat cells as the main source for energy. Just like when you eat a big load of carbs, it's going to use them to produce glucose, and then your insulin is going to transform that into energy. And the same thing happens with protein. A diet based in too much protein is generally bad for you. So let's get to the article. Is it safe? So the taking supplements is safe up to a point. So this article is gonna focus, of course, in taking too much of one thing. In this case, BCAAs. So it says that amino acids are something that comes with food. Of course, all the foods have amino acids. And pro tip: the egg is the one food that has all the amino acids you need. The one food that has them all. With our diet, we don't need supplements for BCAAs. And it says that the only possible side effects of BCAA can happen when you take too much and you have pre-existing medical conditions such as ALS or bad kidneys or liver or heart. It's not just that, there are many things that can affect you, and those are not the only pre-existing conditions that you gotta have. But the most of the cases are based on those. Okay, so yes, says with absolutely any substance on the planet to match, but it's for you, just like I explained you before. So let's get to the point. One thing that I wanted to mention this time, a friend of mine was asking me before, dude, when do I take the BCAAs? Do I take them pre-workout, post-workout, during the workout? And this is a big subject of discussion because lots of bodybuilders think differently. And if you want to know my own personal experience and my own personal opinion, is that the best way to consume them is when you are working out, so during your workouts. And my reasoning is fairly simple. It's because when you are working out, you are starting to burn energy, right? So you're burning your glucose, your sugar, you're burning fats, and you start, whether you like it or not, you start breaking down your muscle fibers for two reasons. Number one, you're tearing them down. When you're bodybuilding, you're lifting weights, you're causing micro tears on your muscles, and whether you like it or not, they're gonna start breaking down. They're gonna rebuild back again, but when you have an energy requirement, and just like I said before, you don't just consume one resource at a time. You consume the three resources at the same time, just one more and then the others less. So you're gonna start your breakdown process during the workout. So when you start working out, whether it's running or lifting weights or whatever you're doing, you're gonna start breaking your muscles down. That's why I believe that the most efficient way to let's not say stop this, but tell your body that it has already broken down muscle is taking the supplement right away, right when you're doing the exercise. If you have it in a powder, you can just mix it in some water, or you can just take a couple of capsules or pills with BCAAs during your workout and you'll be fine. I believe that's the best way of cheating and make your body believe that it has already broken down muscle and it already has the amino acids it needs to produce energy. With that said, let's go back to the overconsumption problem. So let's say which are the side effects that this article is pointing out. The first one is decreased endurance. It says that chronic high doses of branched chain amino acids reduce endurance performance by roughly 43%. Studies in rats and blah blah blah. High doses. Okay, there's not a lot of background on this one, and I haven't read a single medical article that says the same thing. But I do have common sense, and a lot of people, use amino acids when they are starting to, cut down. When they're starting to try to get shredded, so they cut on fats, they cut down on carbs, and of course, if you're cutting down on your both best sources of energy, you're gonna have decreased endurance. And amino acids, whether you like it or not, they're not going to give you energy. They're just a way to tell your body that it has already broken down muscle and it has what it needs to continue functioning. At least that's my opinion. So that thing about decreased endurance, I wouldn't say that in my experience it has worked before. I haven't felt a single difference with or without amino acids. I do feel that I do know that I feel better. I have a better recovery. I lose less muscle mass. I feel fuller. I feel more vascular. But that's it. No, not much more. It also says fatigue and loss of coordination. So they say that WebMD, which is a very popular website and it's a medical website, said that taking more than what your body can handle may cause loss of coordination and fatigue. And, well, pretty much taking too much of anything that your body can handle is going to cause loss of coordination and fatigue, even Tylenol. Such as driving and operating machinery, otherwise you run the risk of causing accidents, harming both yourself and other people. The side effects happen only to people with pre-existing medical conditions listed below. Let's take a deeper look at that. So, worse insulin resistance. They say that 2 or 3 of these aliphatic amino acids can easily be converted to glucose. They can impact your blood sugar levels in a significant way, especially if you consume them on days when you're taking a break from the gym or other physical activity. In my experience, that's a little bit true, but not too much. If I'm not working out, honestly, I don't need the amino acids. My diet is good enough to give me what I need, and just like I said before, I take the amino acids during my workout because it's a way to cheat my body into not breaking down my muscle and keep as much of it as I possibly can, but not much more than that. So if you eat healthy and plenty and you have a good diet and a balanced diet, you're probably not going to need the amino acids on the days that you don't work out. Now, if you're a professional bodybuilder, you're probably going to work out every single day, so they do take the amino acids and they probably make good use of them. But for most people, no. For most people, there's no need. So, an upset stomach. Honestly, I've never experienced anything like that. I don't know. Still, we're talking about taking too much, so it can happen. Maybe your body, your stomach is not used to it. So then again, there's no need to take too much. If you know what the dose or the daily need for you is, don't take more than that. It's honestly, I can support that one, but it cannot harm. So it says high blood ammonia concentration. Taking more than 500 milligrams per kilogram of leucine per day will cause significant increase in blood ammonia concentration levels. This will eventually lead to several adverse effects if consumed at this amount for extended periods of time. So then again, consuming too much of anything is gonna cause you problems. Ammonia is something, it's a waste that goes in your urine, right? So it goes through the kidneys. And what happens when you have too much protein in your diet? Your kidneys suffer, and it may lead to kidney failure. So if you're taking something that is basically broken down protein, it's gonna create the same effect. So the same way I don't eat too much meat or too many foods that contain a lot of protein, and I'm saying just too much, like I don't know, 3 to 4 grams per kilogram. That's a lot. In that case, yeah, I agree with that one. Taking too much of that will cause you kidney problems. Not just the high concentration of ammonia. It's going to cause you much more than that. So just bear with me in that one. I totally support that one. And your kidneys, they have to work for the rest of your life. You really need them. You need both of them. You cannot live with one, but you need them well and functioning properly. So with that one, I totally agree with the article. Of course, I'm going to recommend some products and blah blah blah. This is probably not so important, and it mentions that other safety concerns. You have to know some about the rare cases. People's bodies just don't like additional supplementation, and they can react, of course, if you have any allergies to any sort of food, and maybe some supplements and even amino acids could cause you any sort of trouble. It's very rare, but it can happen. There's something that I just read a little bit before this one, and it's not this one. There's something that you have to also understand with this previous condition with fatigue and loss of coordination. When you take amino acid supplements, they also come with other things, and one of those things is tryptophan. Tryptophan is basically a precursor to many other things. One of them is the hormone melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that pretty much controls how sleepy you feel, and it helps you, have a healthy sleep cycle. So, if you take too much tryptophan, it's gonna mess with how much melatonin your brain is going to free on your bloodstream, and it will affect your sleep. And when you don't sleep well, you don't function well, so you're gonna have loss of coordination and you're gonna have fatigue. And there's also something that I've been investigating on my own, and is if you are epileptic, if you have epilepsy, which means that at some points of the day your brain is pretty much a big mass of electrical currents that go in a way that has pretty much boundaries, and when one of those waves go crazy, the other waves are gonna go crazy too, and that's gonna make you have a seizure. And a seizure is pretty much lots of muscle spasms that happen because your brain doesn't know how to control it, and it's pretty much out of control. When you have epilepsy and you don't sleep well, it's gonna make it even worse. When you don't sleep well for a few days, or you are really really stressed, and you have like a twitch in your eyes or in your cheeks, or you have muscle twitching all the time at some part of your face, well, that's most likely because you at some point your brain is sending erratic signals, and it's getting crazy somewhere. It's just reduced. You're having a like minor microscopic seizures. So your eye twitching just like this, just for a little bit, is going to mean that you just are having a minor case of epilepsy, which is very reduced, and will have that. But for people that do have epilepsy and can actually suffer seizures, I would highly recommend to keep a very, very sensible dose of amino acids. And if you can not do them, just eat healthy. That's more than enough, because you're never gonna go wrong with food. I've said it so many times. You just need food, real food. You don't need supplements. The supplements are gonna help, but they're not all you need. You need food. So guys, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the video, of course, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the little bell right here for notifications on new videos, and I'll see you next time.